Moi, je suis un prêtre depuis 40 ans. J'ai célébré le 40e anniversaire au mois de décembre dernier.
My name is Sonia Zilberberg, and I'm a teacher here at Dawson in the Department of Religious Studies, and I have a PhD in Religious Studies from Concordia. So, if we look at religion, the biggest change is that Christianity in Quebec, actually the same is true for Canada and Montreal, the percentage of Christians is going down and the percentage of all the other religions is going up. So even though Christianity remains by far the major religion here, especially Catholicism, the other religions are all gaining as well, and especially the number of secular people. You have to go back, I guess, to the Révolution Tranquille to see where the religious changes really started in Quebec. But starting with the church having much less control over people's lives, so most Québécois changed their lives drastically at that point. They stopped having, 15, 20 children, and they started living different kinds of lives.
L'autonomie des laïcs, la liberté de pensée des laïcs, ça, parfois, ça a des limites, puis ça, parfois, c'est négatif. C'est pas tout positif. Il y en a plus de référence. Si je regarde les journaux chaque matin, les opinions, n'importe, les événements, on n'a plus de référence, alors on ne sait plus. Et tout est changeant, puis on ne sait pas ça va être quoi la limite comme conception de l'être humain, de la naissance à la mort. On sait que maintenant, tout est envisagé et envisageable d'un coup d'œil scientifique. Quand, dans ma génération, on s'est émancipé, il restait un vieux fond de notre formation de base qui restait comme repère. Alors, on savait qu'il y avait une marge de manœuvre, ça faisait du bien de l'apprendre. Mais aujourd'hui, on n'a pas ce même fond. Tu n'as pas servi la messe en latin quand tu avais 5 ans, comme moi. J'ai servi la messe en latin quand j'avais 5 ans. Alors, mes repères sont encore de la décennie précédente, surtout à l'enfance.
Well, the Catholic Church still, I think, owns the best land in Montreal. I mean, look at where St. Joseph's Oratory is, So what it's doing is it's actually releasing some of that prime area for people's use. But the fact that they're selling it off and becoming condos is very controversial. It's not clear that that's what it should be used for, as opposed to something like Dawson, where I think most people are in favor of it and they think it's a good thing to use it for educational institutions. And in fact, we still have the nuns coming to visit us here. You see a group of them every once in a while. They like to see how young people are using their former facility, and I think that makes everybody happy on both sides. Condos, apartment buildings, not so much.
L'expérience fait que c'est pas une grosse réussite. Les églises transformées en condos, c'est raté. Même si j'étais juste sur le plan d'architecture, c'est raté. Ou en centre commercial, ou en discothèque, ou en salle de conférence, en amphithéâtre. Multimédia, ça existe aussi. Bon, il y en a plus réussis que d'autres. J'ai été curé de 3 paroisses, il fallait en fermer 2 sur 3. Ça n'a pas été facile comme expérience, parce que chaque personne tient sa paroisse, son clocher.
I think we need to not leave it in the hands of the capitalists, of the developers, because if you just put these buildings on the market, obviously a lot of times they're on prime land, they're beautiful old buildings, and often the organizations that we might like to see in them, like community organizations, don't have the money to buy them. So I think it would be really nice if the Catholic Church donated these buildings to community organizations. It doesn't even have to be religious, but we have a lack of community centers, libraries, all those kinds of things. Those would be great uses for the old churches. I think it's a great idea to take unused churches and use them for other spiritual purposes, such as mosques. I think that's terrific. I think it might take a little while for some Québécois to accept that, but I think in the end, if we do it properly with a lot of education and people coming together so that you have interfaith events maybe that happen in the interim, I think it'd be a great idea.
Ben, d'abord, je pense que c'est les musulmans qui ne seraient pas à l'aise. Je ne suis pas certain, je ne suis pas convaincu que ça va se faire aussi aisément, aussi facilement. Et je crois aussi que même les musulmans auraient des réticences. Il faudrait vraiment exorciser ces lieux anciennement chrétiens.
I remember going to, I was in New York, and I went to a Jewish service at an old church that didn't have enough people, and so what they did is the Jewish service happened and they wheeled in all the symbols for the Jewish service, and then at the end wheeled it out and wheeled in all the Christian symbols to put up for the Christian service. And I think in the end, that's it. It enriches everybody to realize what we have in common rather than what separates us.